Hello, good morning, and welcome. My name is Jamini Samarathundar. I'm a certified Reiki master. I have been practicing Reiki in Sri Lanka for around 10 years now, and this Reiki practice has enhanced overall well-being and quality of my life. I've performed Reiki healing quite a number of more than hundreds of individual Reiki healing on people and even animals and plants. And I'm very glad and feel very humble to say that it has brought about so much of mental, physical, emotional well-being in the lives of people that I have touched. So Reiki is from Japan, originally from Japan. It's a healing modality. It has a guiding set of guiding principles and a value system, and at the same time a component of meditation. It is very easy to learn Reiki and practice, so anyone can learn it. Even a small child can learn it and use it effectively to improve the quality of living. And today, at present life, we notice people are struggling with a lot of health issues. So I think this is one of the most non-invasive alternative healing methods instead of taking medications and going through loads of therapies and treatments which can really even damage your physical body. One can learn to practice energy modality like this and bring a lot of benefits to life. It's an energy healing modality. The word Reiki stands for cosmic life force energy, and with an attunement or an initiation by a Reiki master, one can effectively practice. To date, I use Reiki in my day-to-day life whenever I notice there are mental, physical, emotional imbalances, and I would like to tell you that it actually brings about results then and there. It's very obvious the benefits of Reiki, and it's easy to live a healthy and well-balanced life. And I like to invite people to learn this method, and we notice that even in the Western world, Reiki is practiced as a stress management tool. It's highly effective and one can do it anytime, every time. Such a profound and easy to use, beautiful, safe method of making human life better.
What began your journey into energy healing work?
Yeah, that was around 10 years ago. I was going through a difficult time, let's say, and at that time I was depressed. I was also learning the subject of NLP, neuro linguistic programming, that time, to help me overcome my limited thinking and overcome fears and past traumas, etc. I wanted to understand why I was going through what I was going through. And at the same time, I realized after learning and practicing NLP, which is more a psychological tool, I realized I need something to that calm myself as well. So at that time I learned Reiki, and after receiving the attunement, even within the first day itself, I felt something lifted off from my body and felt deeply healed. I actually would like to use the word deeply healed. That time I was overweight, and during this 21 days cleansing period, there's something called 21-day cleansing period. After you have received and Reiki attunement you go through, I lost nearly 8 kilos, and it was healing, both mental, physical, emotional, and I would like to say that it opened doors for me to enhance my spiritual practice, and it all happened 10 years ago. I still practice Reiki.
Wonderful. What is your favorite Reiki principle and why?
The biggest thing is that in Reiki it says that show gratitude to everything, and I think it's so simple. It's sometimes hard to practice because we separate ourselves from the environment and others, and we think we have a lot of limitations in life. But if we are careful enough and pay close attention, we have our breath and this beautiful life alone. It's profound, it's miraculous. And we can actually often live with that attitude of gratitude. in Reiki principles, this is one of the most profound principles, guiding principles, to feel this gratefulness to life and everything around and sustain that attitude often, and it can actually enhance your practice of Reiki. Yes, because it is non-egoistic.
And could you share some of your most important client experiences you had? Anything that comes to mind where you really helped transform a client to Reiki?
Sure. I would like to refer to the original history, the story about Reiki, the initial part of it, where the practice of Reiki started off from this wonderful person called Mikayo Usui, who went up a hill and did a meditation for 21 days. The story says he meditated for 21 days, and at the end of 21 days, he went on without food and water, and finally he come into a deep realization, a profound realization as to how to do healing on people, because his initial quest was to find out how to heal. So in that story, there are three miracles the story talk about, which the master himself, or Mikayo Usui himself, experienced. One is that when he was climbing down the mountain, he wounded himself, and his toe was bleeding. And the story says he kept his hand, and the moment he kept his hand, the bleeding stopped, and he was able to climb down. Now, I have performed that in my life too, to one of my close friends. Initially, when we took him to the hospital, they were surprised that there wasn't a single drop of blood on the sink where when he cut his finger, ideally it should have been a flow of blood. But then and there we were guided to do Reiki, and he himself was a Reiki master, and we still remember still going to hospital because the finger was fully like a huge deep cut, and it surely required a surgery. So when we went to the hospital, there wasn't a specialist or a doctor, and there was a nurse, and he said, you will have to wait till the doctor comes in order to perform this, and for the moment we'll give you some painkiller and help you out. Then my friend, who has gone through the Reiki experience with me, he was alone in the bed, and he said, look, you prepare anyway just to stitch this, and this will be all right, because they saw one almost like blood, like a blood clot, and it was like a big wound. But then my friend was so sure about Reiki practice, so, and I was also there, and we together did perform a Reiki healing. And when the nurse comes in, are you sure that you want to do this without doctor's permission? He still said, yes, go ahead. And when they come and see that, it started already sort of healing itself, and they were surprised. So they just had to do a little stitching, and it was one of those most profound experiences myself had with my friend. In fact, he's someone I initiated for Reiki. He's my first student on Reiki. At the same time, I have healed one of my closest friends, who was suffering with a huge tooth problem, and he spent a lot of money that time just to take care of his teeth, and he often had dental issues. And one time he was going through huge financial issues, and he needed some help in terms of financials, as well as he was not feeling very well. Biggest concern was he had to invest a lot of money to put one of those bridges or whatever on to one of his tooth and heal it. Then he was not having enough money, so I said, maybe I can help you. And all I did was Reiki, and it was a permanent healing. After that, he just had to maintain his cleanliness and basic hygiene, dental hygiene, and thereafter it was permanently healed. So he was very, very happy about it. At the same time, I remember during my first classes of Reiki, first initiations, and the students coming, there was one student who hardly could eat. He was going through a lot of difficulties, not being able to eat properly. So in the miracles, another miracle other than that, in the story, Mikayo, so he also healed a young girl after coming down the hill. There was a girl in the restaurant where he went to eat. because he was starving, he was very hungry after 21 days, and he healed this girl who was who said that he having a dental problem. And at the same time, he ended up eating a lot of food, but he never felt out of balance or too much for his body. His body could absorb all that. So I have performed similar. I mean, a similar experience happened in my Reiki classes, where this student who hardly could eat proper food, eat food properly, after the Reiki attunement was able to comfortably eat a lot of food and felt still good. And I think it brought about a permanent healing in himself. And of course, at the same time, I have helped cancer patients, one or two clients with Alzheimer's, and one lady with Parkinson, and loads of people with emotional imbalances, as well as some wounds and physical ailments where doctors have said that there's no cure, it's just a symptom, we don't know how it's coming up often. For such people who never had medical support, yes, I have helped quite a number of people.
What advice would you give someone who aspires to be a Reiki master?
The first thing, I think one must believe in it, because without belief, if you are like a skeptical person and way to just go with the materialistic approach to life, it's hard. So it's important you be like a little child. You have that wandering feeling or wonderment, like this belief in things that you don't even see. Also, of course, you have to be intelligent enough to understand we are made up of energy fundamentally, and therefore it is possible that there should be a mechanism in which we can tune into the flow of energy, and if something is out of balance in the flow of energy, for us to bring that balance. So I think you got to have a faith model, like this belief and trust, because if you don't trust, you don't feel the energy flowing through you. The other thing is you have to be intelligent enough to understand the basics mechanisms of life, and to appreciate things as more energy than just stuff, objects. Also, another most important advice I give is that without having a loving kind approach, it's hard to practice Reiki. So it's very important one. It's not easy all the time for us to not be egoistic and separate ourselves from others and always feel we are important, but with conscious practice you can be more compassionate and loving, and that kind of attitude is essential to be a good Reiki practitioner.
And any final thoughts you would like to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, I would like to actually welcome people who have not experienced this to come and try it, learn it, because one thing, it is very easy to learn. You just need to be coming with an open mind, and with, of course, the guidance from a well practiced and trained and competent Reiki master. You can build that confidence that you can feel the energy, and you are able to channel energy through you like a vehicle, right? So that belief is usually coming when you are trained from a competent Reiki master. And at the same time, I would like to tell all of you that it is very, very powerful stress management tool. So even this can be known in the corporate world. Corporate executives can learn it. I repeat you, it's such a easy, simple way of managing well-being. So quick, you can do it anytime, every time. And also it enhances your overall quality as a human being. And the other important idea I like to share with you today is that if you are in the path of spiritual enhancement, or you believe that you want to enhance your overall spiritual experience as a human being, Reiki can be a very powerful tool, because it also has this component of meditation, because you got to have a very calm mindset to feel the flow of energy coming through you, and also develop love and kindness and patience. So those are very important qualities to live the human life. And I know these are hard stuff for many of us, but with continued effort and right guidance, they can enhance the overall quality of life. And another important thought is that today we have high-tech in terms of high tech and knowledge about medicine and equipments and therapies, whole lot of things to enhance the health of people. But we notice that often many number of people are going to doctors and hospitals. Now, with all due respect to wonderful doctors and their service performing, we would like to tell people that health is something that you need to sustain from early age, and it is a preventive mechanism. So instead of having a very high medical bill at the end of the month and live with this worry that you often have sicknesses and ailments, it's a very good approach, if at all, if someone can learn the art and the science of sustaining well-being in a continuous manner in this busy, fast moving lifestyle. And there are many external challenges that we experience in day-to-day life, so it's actually challenging to sustain our sanity and well-being in a continuous manner. So a tool like Reiki can be really beneficial, because I repeat you, anytime, every time you can practice, you can go to sleep with this. And beautiful thing is, when you have received the attunement, it's for lifetime. So if someone learned Reiki, it's a lifetime investment. Yes. So thank you for this opportunity given for me to share my thoughts. I wish all well-being and happiness to you.